warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Tuan Zamil, how are you?
Waalaikumsalam. Alhamdulillah. I'm fine.
I go great. Kita
great, yeah.
lama tak berjumpa ni.
Lama.
Kan take quite some time juga lah kan. Now the MCO over.
Thank you.
I know that you are so busy with virtual tourism, macam-macam tourism yang sekarang dibincangkan sekarang ni.
There are so many things. We have no idea what tourism. Everything is on tourism now, you know.
Yes.
Everything we're talking about tourism, sustainable tourism, you know. We have hybrid. We have so many things about tourism at the moment.
So many things. I nampak the pick up is very high with the fact that airport belum buka lagi. We are not yet open, but the preparation, I would say, has got its momentum, the momentum of the tourism. So, in terms of how you see that before, everybody was talking about virtual tourism, and now people are ready to bring back the tourists into Malaysia. How do you think the readiness of our local community in preparing themselves to ensure that we don't have another lockdown?
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay. First and foremost, I do feel that during the pandemic in 2020 March, I think 20th or 18th of March when we started our lockdown, everyone is actually in panic. Semua dalam panic. They do not know this is the first time that they are actually out of those in tourism. Everything had to be stopped. All the flights been cancelled, all the trips been postponed, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is where they come to a stage where they need to actually to understand what they are actually going through and what is their future is going to be like. So it's going to be this is something that we say a new norms, new norms in tourism. And this is where what we call as a virtual tourism come into place. So whether they like it or not, they have to accept that it's not going to be a physical, for quite some time, physical tourism, as we say. So now they are actually into virtual tourism. It means they still need to be in the industry. They still need to show that hey, we are still here. We still exist. Our hotel is still here. It's just that you're not allowed to come, but we can still share what we have. You know, we can the locals or the operator can still do and say this is what you're going to have after everything is over. Everything you are allowed to travel. So this is they have to do it virtually. They have to do the sharing. In other words, I'm saying that this is something as a teaser, appetizer lah, macam appetizer, dia bagi appetizer. If you have a good appetizer, then you know the main one must be good. You know, it's going to be good. If the appetizer is such a delicacy, then the main one is going to be good. So this is where it is very important for the players to actually indulge to actually go into this virtual tourism. Dia kena ada idea saying that even as storytelling is sufficient, saying that hey, do you know that our place was actually dulu been cursed by, they call this apa dia panggil yang macam jin tu, dia kata apa yang dia tegur dia become batu, what do you call that, so
Sumpah.
Macam sumpah. So just storytelling also it works because people say I'm going to go and see that sang kelembai. I say okay, I'm going to go and see that so-called rock everything. So storytelling and then the sharing of how to eat this, how to enjoy this, how to cook this, and how to catch this. You know, so those are the things, the sharing, the virtual, the appetizer, the teaser that they are doing. Okay, then to answer your question, after almost 2 years, that the government announced that okay, they allowed with for the domestic and for those international, they have bubbles, travel bubbles for the certain state or certain island. Okay, back to your question just now. I do feel that yes, some of our players are actually really ready to accept this one. It's just that in the new norms, there are things that going to change, going to affect the costing. You know that the costing that there are limitations. Like for example, if you go to island where transport are concerned, and the boats, everything. Dulu you can have like 10, 15 in one boat, but because of the new SOP, I was told that it only left about 7. So imagine that you're going to share the same boat so the cost will be like, it's going to be more. So the costing will change. They're going to maintain the social distancing. Of course, they're not going to be like a place where they're going to have like 50 in one place. So they have this one. So the number will be reduced. And naturally, if the number were to reduce, the cost will be actually, because the China
it's
going
more
to be
quality than quantity now.
It is. I can say that it is more quality. It's actually a quality. The quality.
But I think this is also good with the fact that not only COVID teaches a lesson regarding the fact that we're not supposed to be overcrowding phone, right? Because the fact that it is still not safe, right? But the extra cautiousness regarding what people should be, should prepare themselves is to do another review. So there's giving us a space regarding, maybe in those days we never thought about it. So now this is a chance to review back, and the fact that everybody's safety is very important, health is very important. I think to get back what they used to enjoy before with a different taste and flavor, right? You said, right? But what is good, you say there is a teaser. So this teaser become what I call the support for decision making, kan?
Yeah.
So that they're more prepared what to expect in the place, the location, and of course the other parties, which is the people who are expecting the demand side. So they will then do, when we say sustainable, so they become more sustainable, right? Because it all depends to the demand, not just preparing without having the number in place. So the word sustainability that you mentioned, which is quite something I'm very interested in. So is it sustainability in terms of no wastage now, or reduce risk, or there's going to be a cutting of costs so that now become more affordable? How does the word sustainability now being applied in tourism?
Okay, in tourism, we call it sustainability in tourism. Sustainability is actually very wide, As you know that even when you want to manage your waste, wastage, everything, you're turning. You must first you must educate. Actually, you must educate the player that they really need to know what is the element of sustainable. Sustainable, how to become sustainable. It's just that if you the first that come to mind is actually, when it's sustainable, it's like you're going to carry on the business no matter what. And secondly is that you're going to involve the local, the community. So it's in tourism, we are actually focusing on community-based tourism. It's a community, community-based tourism. It is a community-based tourism where you get all the local community to work together. So they are actually, instead of I do everything, the boat, everything, the manage, they can actually give to the locals to actually, okay, can you provide this experience? That each and every experience will come as a package. So you actually work smart. You're working smart. You don't have to like, I'm going to provide this all by myself. The hotel, I'm not going to provide this everything. I just provide this. The rest, the community will come in. So that they're going to share the cake. They're going to share the cake. The community will come in and say, I show how to cook this. I'm going to show how to catch fish, everything. And in return, you're going to get some cut of the cake.
So the business model, as you say, there's an element of prosperity.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. So when we say there's a shared prosperity, so there is an element of give and take, and then there is also an element of making sure the resources are not to put to waste.
Exactly.
So I mean, this element of the concept of the hotels becoming more, I would say, more friendly. They're more friendly now as compared to those days. Probably it's beyond negotiation. Now there is a lot of it is subject to negotiation, right?
Exactly.
And what do you think the approach of the new management from the hotel will be? Okay, so there are a lot of people are now going to get hired back, whereas those days they've probably been laid back, right?
Yeah.
So the structure of the hotels in terms of those days they were all buffet. So many wastage of food we put, and then people would just treat that this is like a pesta. Everybody can have a good time. Now with the COVID, now the fact that we are very concerned about wastage, so hotels are also very cautious, right?
Yes, very true, very true. For example, I've been to a few hotels that they actually implement this new concept. Instead of they reduce the price of the rate, for the room rates, everything, but they're not giving breakfast. So what they do is actually they encourage you to go out to have a breakfast with the locals.
The locals. Yes,
so they give in opportunities. It's a win-win. So I'm going to reduce 50 ringgit from the room rates, everything, and I will encourage you to go locals, go out and eat.
Yes.
Go enjoy the local food. So that is actually a very good thing that something that I'm happy to see. The progress,
so that it allows the ecosystem to balance out.
True,
so
true.
rather than you incur costs on the manpower, and then you have to do a lot of the planning. Now you also support the industry, where they can also have a chance to have a living and taste the local food, and it's equivalent to like any other quality of food, right?
Very true.
So and also this element of collaboration, the sustainability element, there's a smart collaboration,
more sustainable. Everyone's happy. And they know that they are giving the hotels or the resort. They actually are together with the community, saying that can you provide this? What can you provide? Just come to us. And try, because as I say, it's a win-win. First, you reduce your cost as hotel operation. Secondly, you're giving a new value. You're going to attract more customers, saying that hey, you come here, you be able to go for this racket experience, kayaking experience, everything that is provided by the locals. So there's a new attraction that hotels actually is a draw. Is something you draw. Come. You can come to our hotel. You can experience all this. So it's a win-win.
I agree. Yeah. So, in other words, restructuring the way hotel manage resources now, so that part of it is now been taken by the community. Right? So there is an element of giving back to the community the role of what they probably will also want to see coming from the people who are in the location, right? The location of the area. So you see this will also spur the economy, the local economy, right? Now let's go back into our local culture, our local, the blend of our community in terms of how do we take up, where are the values of our collaboration and harmonizing society in terms of making our local products become international. Because a lot of the times the international people, when they come into the hotel, they're not exposed to the international knowledge regarding what are the local culture. So how do you find this opportunity being given?
Okay, for this, I would like to give this responsibility to this the so-called our homestay, or we have a lot of homestays under our ministry, and we also have a local home to stay, or what do you call this short-term accommodation, the STA, And I really hope that more and more homestays operator or this one will actually provide this kind of experience, the cultural. For example, I was in Sarawak, that I can see that there are actually Bidayu culture, Then there are so many things that I experienced, and that why it is not being exposed. Why it is not being really being exposed? One of the problems is that it's very rural. So for you to see, you have to go into a very deep into a village. Then you can only experience that. And this is where most of the hotels are not actually located there. So I do feel that these are apart from you organize the hotel, organize a tour or anything. I do hope that all this homestay or the short-term accommodation to provide this. So this is a new attraction saying that, hey, I'm not just selling my bed and breakfast or my, my accommodation. I have this very air-conditioned room. Instead of just selling that, I said, hey, I'm going to show you how to do the Bidayo dance. I'm to show you how to wear this one, how to choose the right beats. Because if you choose the wrong the beats, everything, it say that, hey, are you attending a funeral or something? So there's a
wrong meaning.
Yes,
You wear the wrong thing, give you wrong meaning.
Give you the wrong this one for those who know. So that is what I just discovered. Saying, oh, there's a lot of things about the color and everything. So these are the things that is very interesting to actually to share.
Yeah. You brought a very important knowledge which a lot of people will not know. Yeah. For example, for certain days you're not supposed to wear black, for example, right? So for a certain function you're not supposed to wear certain colors. Yeah. So those are knowledge which probably the local or the international people not know. This is part of the learning and experience. I would like to, for the fact that you know what SustNET is, because we are very much an accreditation body that provide project management as a mean for people to remain sustainable. Now, one of our interesting awards that we give is, of course, to give people the recognition that people who are already adopting sustainable practice, they can already be rated as somebody with sustainable practice. Now, our hotel association, hotel management, they are more looking at the rating in terms of facilities, not in terms of practices, right? So, would you think this is something that it is of good knowledge if we adopt an element of giving the information, probably like a booklet, for example, all right, or a directory, for example. I'm just giving an idea. This is just to say that where are the hotels that have got sustainable practice, all right, or homestay that can allow for sustainable practice. So this will give the interest for people to, for example, I come to the homestay, I have to make I have to catch my own fish. You don't need to go to the market, but you catch your own fish, or you get to take the herbs from the garden, all right, and then you start to make your own cooking, and then you got to save energy, you got to do your own clean up. So there is an element of sustainable practice which probably was not allowed somewhere else, or they do not do it. So this gives an opportunity for people to do it as a group, do it as a part and parcel of education learning. What do you think of that?
Okay, back on that issue is actually what we need in this sustainable is not just this one. It is actually the awareness that we must come first. Let's talk about the hotel first. Even the hotels, they need to show the what do you call this, the people who actually stay in the hotel that I am practicing sustainable. I am doing this thing and that thing. It's just that now that when you come into the hotel, the awareness is not there. Nobody actually knows. Okay, it's a hotel. They have nice bedroom, everything, but it doesn't show. For example, in Singapore, I do not know about some big hotel here in Malaysia. In Singapore, if you go into the washroom or toilet, something, or shower, they have this the shower head. It's actually they connect it with it's something that when you want to take shower, okay, you just turn on the tap. It'll be in blue color. So you have to you have to do your shower when it is still blue. When it turns red, means you're wasting. You educate you. Yes, the word is educate. Awareness, it comes with education. Say that it's red, means I'm wasting water. I have to stop now. So you have to shower when it is actually blue. So that is a way that when you see, you believe. When you see, you learn. Okay, that is one thing. For example, if we can adopt that, we can have all that thing in our most hotel. Then they know that, hey, please don't waste your water. We don't just leave it on while you do something else, brushing your teeth, everything. You have to make sure that you actually save it. When it's red, then you actually wasting, and maybe your rating or
yeah, I would say that is a good way of alerting the people to say that you have already beyond the limit.
Yes, there's another way of doing it. There are actually a lot of things that I don't think it's that expensive, really expensive now. That even the 3-star or 5-star to adopt that technology,
I assume someone was going to come with the apps to say that, let's say if you are always in the blue, you don't have to pay that much. But if you are having too much of red, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, maybe that works. That actually an awareness, that an education when it comes to sustainability. Everybody will I need to be in this blue all the time.
No, I got penalty, or I got to all my
incentives.
Incentive, yeah.
When you become sustainable, and even if you go to the kitchen, in Singapore, they actually. The chef, the operation, the management is actually all the waste after every buffet, every day they put in this one big container where it is actually computerized, and they know that how many percent is the wastage. Then today is like 60% come from veggie. Tomorrow or for 1 week it is always more than 50% the waste come from veggie. So they can advise the chef to reduce the veggie.
Yes.
So you can always save.
Yeah, I think this back to one of my training on the productivity linked wage system, the PRWS. I think you missed that training that I did for a few of the group. When we want to incentivize the staff, especially people who are doing baking, bakery shop, and all those people who are using a lot of resources, all right? So one of the incentives is, of course, they don't want the staff to waste the flour, the elements, which is quite expensive, the butter, the margarine also. So the fact that if they reduce a lot of the wastage, they get the incentive back. In other words, they get back the saving into the incentive. So that again will allow for people to be more cautious about wastage. I think the system that we have right now is, how do you help people to be happy in saving?
Yes.
Because the mindset of a certain people here is like they're happy to waste. Kita bayar apa? Apa pula? Apa pula?
That is very typical.
It's like apa dosa saya bayar. But that is the fact which happens to to one of my alumni, my school alumni. So she went, and this is a real story. She went to Germany. And Germany is quite a very strict country when it comes to waste management. So she took some of her friends for a birthday party. And obviously being Malaysian, we always love to spend around. And she ordered a lot of food. And with the fact that there was a lot of wastage, the restaurant's owner called the police. They call it the food police. So the police came.
I would like to be a food
police. The police came and then look at all the the evidence of the food wastage, and they summoned the girl who had the birthday party. And the girl said, "Look, why are you giving me this summon? I'm going to pay for it. It's not that I don't want to pay." So the response was, "It is not about your money. It's not about you not able to pay. It's about the attitude of wasting." Right? So it's the etiquette about how you look at food. So the penalty is because the intention to waste. The intention to waste is the one that you got your your summon being in place. It means you did not plan to save. You had you had the bad intention to just keep on spending without having the thought about this is going to go to waste. So imagine the Westerns are already going to that kind of concept of providing such hardcore stoppage, right? Whereas here in Malaysia is our luxury. To waste is like our luxury. So I think that is sad to see that while we are all highly educated, but somehow our education system, it's not good enough to make people become responsible. I think and sustainability is all about responsibility. same thing. That's why you see all the garbage, all the beaches. Why you see it's dirty? It's because not because the people who go there are not educated. Everybody has gone to some basic school about civic hygiene, about health and safety. But why is it that it's wrong? So what makes us become having that tidak apa attitude? So and here we are calling the tourists to come in and look at our attitude.
That is something to to ponder upon, something that we need to change in these new norms. That is why in my course and all my to my student, I always incorporate that you need to know your business, and then how does the business help your community, and then only I give it. Okay, this is what is called sustainability, but I want them to be happy. I want them to voluntarily do that. They have to have that attitude. I don't want them. Okay, this is a must. This is not. It's just that you're happy. Just like when you shower, you say, I don't see you blue. Okay, I'm happy to do that. And we can reward them with such a promotion, with such a discount on the next visit or anything. And sustainability, I think, is actually this is the right time to actually to go all out on promoting sustainability to all especially in tourism industry, to show that we actually care. We actually know that we are very concerned about the product. We are very concerned about what are the process, what are the prosperity they're going to bring, and how do you save the planet, how do you save the planet, and how do you maintain. This will actually come as some added value to all the process, so that once they are actually familiar with it, once they actually are implementing it, once they are actually happily doing it, we can actually recognize them by giving them a special certificate or something that you are practicing now. Okay, can we go on the next level for you to achieve an award? And that is where the state should come in. That is where the agency should come in and assist, because to get an award, you need to go on a very substantial what do you call this effort. Whereas to earn individually is something that you can practice and understanding that these are the things that if I do this, the planet will be this way. If I do this, the people will be very happy with me. If I do this, the community will earn. If I do this, I will save this much. So that is something to begin with. And this is where we actually, thanks to you, we actually starting to go on to our players, to our operator, even to the guide or local host, that I actually inculcate the culture of actually sustainability in tourism.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. But the point is, everybody knows about, for example, the word halal. We're talking about halal kitchen, or Muslim-friendly hotel. All right. So those are actually a component to indicate that there are certain values that has been adopted in the hotel management, in the homestay, and whatever the practices. But in terms of how we look at as a total system, is you can be halal certified, but your ethical values regarding, as I say, the hygiene overall, and any other practices is probably there. So sustainability under the Sharia compliance, it becomes a much more broader acceptance. Means we're not supposed to harm the animal, we're not supposed to harm the plants, right? So the attitude that if we have guests coming to the place and say, please plant a tree in our location, so that you can leave behind something that you know that is going to cut down the carbon dioxide, for example, right? So there is an element of, before people leave, they should understand, you probably have reduced a lot of the oxygen in that area. Maybe you have used too much of petrol, or you have already deplete the quality of the environment, right? So how we want to make sure that we want to bring back some element of safety back to the nature. So whether it's a hotel operator, whether it is on the tourism side, we know that a lot of the element of the carbon is the contributor from the tourism, because of the people traveling, the people wasting food, right? So I think that education has not really understood in our zero net carbon objective that the government is trying to achieve, right? So maybe that is, people say, a far-sighted agenda. But if we don't take action now,
Yeah.
it will never happen, right?